thank you very much for attending ReferralTopia today, and welcome to our second presentation. Today, we are blessed to be hearing from Denise Roberts. She's the creator of the Painless Prospecting System and founder of Playing to Win Together Teams. And she is an expert at helping teams excel and leverage each other. She spent the majority of her life in that area. Denise and I have had the opportunity to work together on forming some fantastic programs for the Caerusnet network. Many people here may have participated in or heard of the Caerusnet pods, where people really upped their game utilizing the Caerusnet tools to have a greater experience. Denise is also a proud member of the West Oakland County Caerusnet team. And again, she leads the Caerusnet Playing to Win pods. She is a wonderful, wonderful person helping people understand the psychology also of sales and the psychology of expanding ourselves in life. She'll be talking today about, what do we call it, Denise? I love it.
The emotional cycle of change.
The emotional cycle of change. And this is, I think many of us here today are going to absolutely relate to this. And this is information that we can also use to help other people that might not have this information. So let's put our hands together and welcome the absolutely fabulous Denise Roberts.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you, let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you to do it by a show of hands. How many of you have had wanted something, whether it's lose weight, stop smoking, make more money, whatever, right? Ever had that going on in your life, right? And then you can't seem to get it, no matter how much you try. You get close maybe, but no cigar. Anybody besides me ever been in that boat? Okay, very good. All right, now, how about the other side? You actually got it, but you couldn't sustain it. I use that as weight. I got to the weight I wanted, I got fit, and then it evaporated or whatever, right? Okay, well, I'm going to talk to you today. We're going to talk about why that happens and what you can do, some strategies. We'll give you some strategies and takeaways as to how to get beyond that. And that's called the emotional cycle of change. All right, so if we're good with that, let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll talk about this. Okay, can everybody see my screen right now?
Yes, looks great, Denise.
The emotional cycle of change. All right, so as I said, if you had something you want, again, everybody think of something right now, something that you've wanted that you just try as you might, you're not getting there. You're getting close maybe, but no cigar, or whether it's income, number of referrals, building your business a certain way, whatever that is. So everybody get one. I just want you to have one. Everybody have one? Okay. All right, very good. So when you go into this, you go in with uninformed optimism. I'm going to build this wonderful business. I'm going to expand it. I'm going to franchise it. I'm going to be the king or queen of referrals. I'm going to be building my whole business on it. I'm going to be buff and fit, or whatever that is, right? So we're optimistic and we're on fire. And then all of a sudden we get into this and we go, whoa, this is harder than I thought, right? And we start to get into what's called informed pessimism. And then we start to have doubts, right? And we start to go, maybe I should play smaller. Maybe I shouldn't bite off as much as, and if we don't address this, if we don't get some help here, and Doug, as a coach, those of you that coach people or whatever, you know that the next level of this is what's called the valley of despair. Now it's just, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to quit smoking. I'm never going to get back to my old fit body. I'm never going to lose this kind of weight. I'm never going to find the relationship I want. So we start to go into that what Doug talked about earlier, the self-limiting beliefs. I once heard it called stinking thinking, right? All right, so here we are, we're now down here. And what happens to most of us at this point is we either give up and go try something new, right? I'll go get a job or I'll go do something else. Or we say, I'm not getting enough referrals from Caerusnet, I'll go join the chamber, or I'll do something else, right? So if we don't address this, this is a slide, and we will keep doing this. And we get back up to here, because we start over again. It goes step 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No matter what the area of our life is, this is psychologically typical and will happen over and over again. If you don't get this lift and get back up here, this is fighting through, staying the course is what I call this, when it feels like you're blown off course. It's how do we keep putting one foot in front of the other? So this is the typical process that we go through, is this up and down yo-yo. And then we go try something else. This relationship didn't work. This job didn't work. Let me go get another job. This diet didn't work. Let me go start another diet. This networking group didn't work. Fill in the blank. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we get frustrated. But this is where we need some help to get beyond. So this is where I talk about your environment is stronger than your will. See, we live in a world of, if it is to be, it's up to me, right? How many know what I'm talking about? Yes? Okay. So what we end up doing is we paddle our own canoe, right? And then when we're not getting where, we paddle faster and harder. And then we get tired. See, we think that this is willpower, tough it out. For decades, I've been working with companies who want to improve the performance of their team. And they just drive them harder. Let's go, let's move it. And yes, we can get to a result, but we can't sustain it because something didn't shift here. We just did through force versus flow. Now, I want to stop sharing for a minute, and I want to talk about what are some of the ways. See, I believe one of this is it's about getting around support people who can help you row together versus paddling this by yourself, because this is based on willpower. And by the way, willpower has a fatigue factor. Just like when you work a muscle, if you fatigue a muscle, that's it. There's a point where you can't go any further. So let me open this up and let me ask you, because, let me quickly share something here. I am going through a remodel in my kitchen as we speak. So I started off with, woohoo, this would be really great. Right? And as I was taking the last thing, if you've ever done anything like this, what you're dealing with is taking every single thing that you have in your kitchen out of your kitchen and shoving it somewhere else in your home. And then they pull every cupboard out, and then they pull up every floorboard. And it's just a giant mess and disruption, right? So that uninformed optimism, this is going to be so cool. About week 4 into this process was like, uh-oh, what are we doing here? This was a dumb idea, right? And then and the idea here is that you need the support of other people. Now, my husband was fine when I was not, and I was fine when he was not. So what I'm leading to is needing the support of other people. So let me take this down for a second so I can look at you and we can talk about what would be some things that we could do. So let me stop sharing this. All right. Take that down. All right, so let's talk for a moment, and I want you all to come off mute. So Steve, if you've muted them all, you can open them up, if you would please. So one of the strategies that I've seen is it takes other people. You need supportive applied learning. You're learning some things. You're learning and you're understanding, but you don't have competency yet. And to get beyond that slide, What do you need? What do you guys think? So let me open that up. Any thoughts here?
Motivation.
Motivation. Okay. What else?
Confidence.
Confidence. Yep. So what if my
Accountability.
confidence is down and I'm devastated and I'm in that valley of despair?
I think you need trusted influencers or mentors or someone that you look up to
Yeah.
that has
Lisa's-
already succeeded.
Lisa's on to something because see, look, when you are down, right, and you're going this way, someone else is up and can help push you. You see that? And that's what we've done inside of our Playing to Win groups, is that people collectively, there's answers are in the room because you can't see it. If you're in the valley of despair, what do you see? What do you see?
Doom.
Fear,
Doom,
regret, failure.
Failure, doom, I suck at this. What the heck? Right? That's what's going on for you. So can you get yourself to, ooh, how can I? No, you get to, I can't because of. Right? But yet when you're with someone else, Jake, you're shaking your head. So if you're in with other people, right, who are looking at this from a different perspective, and they don't have the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that you do, I call that FUD. They're not in the FUD that you're in. They can see something you can't see. And maybe they can give you some input that would help. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah.
I do that all the time for my pregnant wife.
All right, so say more about that. You do that all the time.
Yeah, so I mean, I influence it. She's down, she's emotional, and then I bring her up. You know, and it's a lot of people. I mean, you know, and it just you confidently you can do this. You can stop telling yourself no. You know, and just upbringing. You know, positive optimism.
Yeah, and it's more than just a pep talk, right? Sometimes it's someone else can see something. Let me give you a quick example. I'm working with a team right now who they are not making their numbers, right? And so we meet daily. We have a daily huddle. And you know, it could be what worked, what didn't work, what did you try? And we opened it up for discussion one day. We always open up for discussion, but one of the discussion points was, well, you are doing really well, Dan. What are you doing? And his comment was, well, I was told to look at this board and look at this particular thing, right? And there were 5 people on that call. The other 4 who'd been with the company a long time did not even know what he was talking about. Every one of them went to that the next day, and every one of them increased their revenues and their profitability in one day, in 24 hours from one tip.
Wow.
So the idea here is the answers are often in the room. See, what I do is facilitate that. I help pull that out. I used to think that coaching was telling people what to do, and it's not, is it, Doug? It's really about they have the answers. We just ask the questions, right? And so it's not about teaching them or drive, because I help companies generate millions of dollars by telling them what to do and how to do it. But it didn't sustain. So what I've learned over time is that it's about building, surrounding yourself with what we call supportive applied learning. So you got to be able to try it, and you try it again, and you try it again, and you try it again. And as you fail, it's okay to fail, but there's someone else here who can help pick you up instead of when you fail, instead of beating the crap out of yourself, they go, okay, great. Because one of the things that we work on is, what did you learn? See, success is not a very good teacher, right? That just resonated with someone. Success is not a good teacher. It's called trial and error. And what's an error? Oh my God, a mistake. But we live in a world, many of us live in this world of mistakes are bad and wrong. What if the mistake is just the learning part? Right?
The biggest opportunity.
Thank you, Michael. Say more about that.
Well, you know, every failure, I mean, you can fail at a higher rate if you see your goal and you're working your way there and you miss on your timeline or whatever it is, if you re-examine what you did, now you know how you can tweak it to get a little bit further toward that goal. Sometimes the lessons in failure aren't often seen until maybe years later, like the conversation with a family member who took things the wrong way, for example. That resonates, thanks, Doug. But you have to dare to fail. You need support like this, where if you fall, that there are people to prop you back up so you can keep that momentum forward.
Very good. Very good. Yes. And I'll share one more quick story. How I named my business Playing to Win was I was involved in a training at one time, and it was they had two parts. There was a sales part and there was a sporting part, right? So we had to play a sports game, and it was about gelling as a team. So the purpose was to put you in a situation that was just frustrating all the time, right? And so can you come together and gel as a team, or are you going to try to take each other's heads off? So we were playing a volleyball game, and I sucked at sports. And so the guy that created it wanted everybody to have a win. So he made the other team get on their knees and play us. And guess what? What do you think happened? Do you think we won?
No.
No, we still lost, right, Lisa? And he yelled at us and he said, you are playing not to lose versus playing to win. And he threw us off the court and he said, you guys go figure out what I mean by that. And when you figure that out, then you can come back. And I figured it out. Playing to win is being willing to fail, to keep going forward when you make mistakes, learn from those mistakes. But I know that I can't do that on my own. That's what I've learned about myself. That's why I need to be surrounded by people who support, who hold me accountable, who see me bigger than I see myself. Your Caerusnet teams are like that. And there's more of that. There's more of that for you. So if there are other areas of your life that you are struggling with, I'd invite you sometime to come to one of our Playing to Win teams as a guest and check it out. I've got Maria's in one of those teams. I know that Robert's been in a team with me in the past. So there's just different ways of doing this. And Jessica's, I think, still in here in this room, but she's also done this. So yeah. All right. So I have kind of come to the end of this, and I'm open for more feedback, questions, comments from anybody else. Steve, is there someplace you want to go with this, or?
Well, you know what, we do have a little bit of time, and I like to hear wisdom. I like to hear people that, you know, might have experienced some of the things that you've talked about, to share their own personal story, but just a little tidbit on that. Many of you here might know a Caerusnet member from the Brighton area named Jimmy Plasky. Jimmy started in Caerusnet as a young financial advisor, and he was saying and doing all the right things, but he had to overcome being a young professional and people going, you know, how is this young person going to help me, right? And so Jimmy really went at Caerusnet hard. He did trust builder meetings. He attended the meetings at a very high level. He's obviously in a field where people have lots of choices too. A lot of us know people that might be financial advisors. And it took Jimmy, I think he said, almost 16 months to get his real first bona fide referral that became a new client. And that started the snowball effect for him, because once he got that first referral, he proved how great he was. That referral started sharing the love and sharing him with other people, and he continued to grow. Why am I sharing all of this? There were a few times where the enthusiasm got a little lower, right? Why aren't I getting any referrals? What's wrong with me? And I just continue to reinforce with Jimmy, you're doing the right things. Stick with it. and be there to reap the benefits of all this goodwill that you're building right now. If you exit the stage too quickly, you're never going to get that round of applause that you deserve for helping so many people out. So Jimmy is he's like a mentor to other Caerusnet members that have been joining his team and letting them know that Caerusnet is a stick with it thing. It's a stick with it thing. Stick with it and do the best you can, and you'll have what you want. So I just thought that his story is really crystallizing what it is you talked about with Denise, and how important it is for us to share our wisdom and encouragement with people that we're coming in contact with. We need each other. We need each other to do this sort of thing. So I wanted to share that. Does anybody else have a share that you'd like to share in relationship to this presentation? Tara, go ahead.
So yesterday I was actually at UWM. I go up there frequently for classes, and Matt Ishbio was on stage, and he had somebody ask them kind of a question, how do the mega rich people get there? How do they do that? And he said time management, and basically just sticking to it, doing the same thing, just keeping it, keeping on. And I think that we live in a McDonald's world. We have for quite some time. We want things now. I'm guilty myself, especially, with the internet. We can just punch it in, boom, we got it. But we have to understand that the things worth having in life take time, and it doesn't happen overnight. And he said, and it really resonated with me, he says, the things that you are doing right now will benefit you in a year, 6 months to a year from now. So you have to keep the momentum going. You may not see anything from it right now. Give yourself some time, maybe set a time. I told myself I was going to give myself 2 solid years of doing all the things that I needed to do. And I know that if I do that consistently, I will see results. So
I want to piggyback on a couple of things you guys have been saying. So what we're doing right now is in the world of education, this would be called guided practice. We're learning from each other, right? I modeled something, we've learned from each other. And I want to throw something else in here that as a tidbit, there's also, what is your perceived likelihood of achievement? So whatever is that goal, if you've got your own, well, I'd love to do that, but that's not feasible for me because of fill in the blank, right? So you have to look at, so that perceived likelihood of achievement is what's in the way. Because you can drive towards it and then go, but it's still got you by the throat. So now what you do is you start to say, well, what are all the limiting thoughts? What are all the obstacles? What are all the struggles? And then you have a way to play with it. That's one of the other things that this is another takeaway for you. How do I turn all those struggles into what would it be like? So I'll give you a quick, because we got a few more minutes. I have in my personal playing to win team right now, I've taken on a challenge to get back to my former fit self. 10 years ago, I was really fit and lean and rocking it and could do a chin-up. All right, I did actually 3. So my goal was to be able to do another one. Well, I can't right now. So I'm working towards that. And I know that there's all sorts of pieces to that. It's what I eat, it's what I do, it's about exercise. And so I started to go, I'm too old, I'm too, And I went, wait a minute, here's a way to play with this. What if I say I can take my new kitchen that will be done in 2 weeks, and I can start having parties with people to say, bring your healthy recipes. Let's cook in my new kitchen, right? So now it becomes fun and easy and different instead of, I can't eat the foods I like. Right. So I want a Kim Langa body, So I'm going to invite Kim Langa over and say, Kim, come cook in my kitchen with me. So there's ways to do, these are all the kinds of takeaways. So I want to end this with something that you will take on. So what would be something you take on? I want you to think about this. And again, I invite you, if you want to come and experience, come to one of our playing to win teams so you can see how we do it. But what is one takeaway of something that you wanted, that thing that you thought of, that you can do from what you heard here? Because That is going to happen. That slide is going to keep going. You're going to keep going down that slide. Sorry. So that's what I want to leave you with is if you want to take one moment and write it down, and then those of you that are willing will share them. So let me give you a quick minute. Write something down, one takeaway. This is your independent practice that you would then do. And when you're done writing or you've come up with something, either give me a thumbs up or heads up. I'm gonna
Julie
ask
Palmer's
him.
got one.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Don't stop and reach out for support. Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome. Very good. Reach out for support. Thank you. Don't stop. All right. Who else has got one?
My takeaway was willpower has a fatigue factor.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what would you
Never
put
heard
in
that.
place of willpower, Lisa, based on that? What would you put in place?
I would say, oh geez, you put me on the spot here.
Yeah, that's okay. Didn't mean to. So
Okay. I don't know. I just align yourself with it. Two are better than one. And that's why Tara, I recruited her to come to C2 with me. Because two are better than one.
Two are better than one.
If we were meant to be self-contained capsules, we wouldn't be here on this earth experiencing, in my opinion.
Love that. Love that, Amanda. Very good.
I like the fact that your environment is stronger than your will. So truly, you can't do it alone.
Yeah, you can't. I've got decades of trying that. So a lot of what I've created has come from, it wasn't working for me. So then I created it and then I share it with others. And that's what my purpose on this planet is to do right now. That's why I do it.
Let's put our hands together for Denise Roberts and show our love and appreciation for her powerful presentation. We're all going to find ourselves in that emotional cycle of change.